Animals who ask people for help. Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, we will talk about animals who ask people for help. However, before we start our countdown, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and also press the bell icon. So let's get started. It's easy for humans to ask for help, but when animals ask for help, it's a much more precious feeling. So here are 25 animals who ask people for help. Baby elephant stuck on a cliff edge. Elephants are one of the most expressive creatures in nature. They have a huge range of emotions. That is what helps them communicate to humans. This young baby elephant was stuck on the edge and clearly scared for her life. Luckily, there were a few humans around with cranes since it was already a construction site. The crane helped the elephant reach some stable grounds. Mother cow asks motorcyclist for help. This clip actually tells a pretty cute story of a mother cow and her calf. This calf has just been born, but it was separated by its own mom with an electric fence. The mother cow continuously looked at a motorcyclist who stopped by to appreciate the scenery. When the man realized that the mother cow wanted something, he followed her and saw that the calf was out of reach for her. Once he moved it near her mother, she kept licking and hugging her baby. Yeah, that's what mother's love is like. Dolphin asks for help. It's already a known fact that dolphins are a very smart creature. And when this particular one needed help, it had no problem communicating with the nearby onlookers. At first, it starts to whistle at whoever passed by. Eventually, a man named Leon approached it. That's when he realized that the dolphin was stuck in a bunch of seaweeds, branches, and mud. He spent almost 30 minutes trying to free the dolphin and even had to call a friend. Thankfully, he was nursed back to health by a few professionals and set out into the waters again. Elephant calmly asks for help with bullet in his head. If you were ever shot, you would panic right away, right? Well, this elephant handled the situation much better than regular humans. It had an bullet stuck in the middle of its skull. It was in a lot of pain, but he walked right up to the doctor to ask for first aid. This elephant is actually named Pretty Boy. It's a miracle that he managed to walk up to the doctors since the bullet had deformed into his skull. He needed surgery to get it out. In the end, the bullet was removed and he ended up all healthy. Raccoon asks for help. A woman was just hanging out in her backyard when she heard a weird whining noise. She took out her phone and started recording, and that's when she saw a little raccoon in pain. When the raccoon came near her, he sat down and showed her his injured paw and the blood that was all over it. Luckily, he was quite friendly, and the woman managed to bandage him up. Hopefully, he recovers soon. We all know how sneaking important a raccoon's paw can be when it comes to stealing food. Birds' legs frozen to the metal fence. Birds are tiny and soft little creatures, so it's easy for them to get stuck in almost. But this story isn't about getting stuck in something. It's about getting stuck on something. This bird had landed on a metal fence, but due to the freezing temperature, it had gotten its tiny little legs stuck to the fence. It tried its very best to take off, but he had no luck. That is until this man came around and held the bird till it warmed up. Once the heat melted the ice under the bird's tiny feet, it flew away with happiness. Sea lion jumps into boat. When animals are injured or hurt, they forget all their fears of humans and approach them without a second thought. This poor injured sea lion named Amber was in need of some serious help. It had hurt its little flipper and could barely move around. The sea lion jumped right up on the boat and made itself home. Meanwhile, the passengers examined him and tried to figure out where he was hurt the most. Looks like someone on the boat had Snow White Power's mother elephant prize for help. A mother is always a mother. It doesn't matter what species she is, they are always there to protect their babies. This elephant mother kept crying and crying till rescuers came to help her. When her crying caught some attention, she led them to the hole. Her poor baby was stuck in the elephant. Baby was covered in mud and crying just as much as his mother. After some help from heavy equipment, the rescuers were able to save the elephant successfully. This just goes to show that sometimes asking for help is just what you need. Tiny baby deer needs help. Deer usually leave their fall by themselves for a while, but this tiny baby, almost the size of a chihuahua, had no one around. It kept crying and crying until finally a woman heard its cries. She couldn't find where they were coming from, so she left only to return back at night. That's when the deer stuck to her feet and wouldn't get off. She finally called the rescue team, and the baby deer grew up till it was old enough to go on his. Thirsty Crow comes to humans for help. We've all read the Thirsty Crow story. but pots aren't easily available anymore. Now it's mostly water bottles, and apparently animals have learned that too. This crow sat in the middle of a small crowd and kept pecking at the water bottle. A little kid realized that the crow needed water and tried his best to give it a refreshing drink. Stranded orca cried for. Orcas, or killer whales, are known to be quite dangerous, but there are certain situations where even they can't protect themselves. When the tide went really low, this orca got stranded and continued to cry for hours. Rescuers managed to keep her cool and healthy until the tide returned. Hours later, when the water reached up to her tummy, she was desperate to move away from the rock. Eventually, she got to swim away, and it was all thanks to the group of people who kept her cool and wet. Turtle approach us, man, for help. When you're underwater, it's a very unusual and scary experience. You could have no idea what could approach you. But when a turtle approached Lloyd here, he claimed it changed his life, especially the way he views animals. While he was diving underwater, a sea turtle approached him quietly and turned his back towards him. Lloyd removed a piece of sharp rock from its shell, and it quietly went on about its day. This was a simple reaction with no sort of sounds being communicated, which makes it all the more special. Kangaroo gets head stuck in water. This South Australian kangaroo was very thirsty, so much so that it got its head stuck in the watering can, and its first reaction was to panic and jump around. Thankfully, the local residents tied the can to the rope and gently took it off. What a silly little kangaroo shark approaches diver for help when it comes to sharks. We've all seen Jaws, and we know well enough to stay away from them. But what do you do when one of them keeps coming back to you? Well, you do what this guy did when the shark kept. He noticed that there was a fishing line completely embedded into the shark's skull, so he mustered up some courage and managed to remove the hook and the line. So this was our today's video. I hope you all liked this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel. And also share it with your friends and family. We will be back soon with a new video. Till then, keep supporting and take care.